surgery to what we call the arch of the aorta. I think one of the abnormalities they saw in the CAT scan may have just been the surgery that they did previously. In some cases, it can look like an aneurysm or an abnormal, almost like an abnormal swelling.
So now I'm getting, my eye just started jumping.
Oh, it's okay.
You know, because now I'm getting something totally different. So, because where did they get them? Yesterday said that it was bleeding. That she was bleeding yesterday.
She has a very difficult combination of both clots and bleeding, essentially.
Okay.
So what the procedure today will look at, it'll address both, essentially. What we do is we inject contrast into the vein here, and it helps us, see exactly where all of the abnormalities are and to what extent, they're going on. Because the CAT scan helps, certainly, it gives us a lot of detail, but essentially doing an angiogram in the lab also gives us the ability to clear any clot that's formed, make sure she still has, dialysis catheter access, because we don't want to lose that, and see if there are any blockages or any narrowings that we can stent open.
Okay.
Because part of the issue with her neck and all of the airway stuff was the fact that the vein that drains her entire kind of like the upper portion of the head and the neck, that vein's blocked. And so since all of that drainage isn't happening the way it's supposed to, all the pressure's backing up. So one possibility of them stenting is that blockage, if it looks like it's amenable to stenting. If it's not, all they can do is clear clots, then they'll try to do that.
Okay.
But they won't really know until they get in there and actually look.
And what about the dissection that she has going on?
So we know that she previously had the dissection in the upper part of the aorta going directly away from the heart. That got fixed a long time ago. Now, there's a dissection going downwards. That kind of dissection we usually manage medically, unless it's causing, issues with the kidneys or it looks like it's, actively expanding. Hers didn't look like it was actively expanding. It looks like it's there, and we'll keep a very close eye on it, but that dissection we don't normally do surgery for. So mainly what we're dealing with is all of the complexities in the blood vessels up here, where we're trying to figure out exactly, okay, how much is just a holdover from her prior surgery? Because on the CAT scan, if you don't know that she's had a prior aortic arch surgery, it can look like she has a big aneurysm and a lot of other abnormalities, where in fact it's just what's normal after you get aortic arch surgery. So that's part of the confusion. The other part of the confusion is the fact that looking at the CAT scan, it looks like there is clot here around where the dialysis catheter is that may be causing some of what we call this SVC syndrome, where all of her drainage from her head and neck is compromised. So the clot we can potentially fix with the angiogram and stenting, and they have other methods in the lab. The other thing is if they see a dissection there in that same blood vessel, they can also fix that with a stent usually. But again, we won't really know until they get in there and actually take a look.
Okay. And that'll be tomorrow, right?
That'll be tomorrow.
Okay, and another question. This is the port that they have here, right?
Right.
Is it possible that they could move it?
That's going to be difficult. What they're trying to do is to leave that in place as much as possible, because they don't want to risk compromising any other blood vessels anywhere else. So if they have to take it out and repair the blood vessel and put it somewhere else, they will, but that's the last resort.
Okay. So that was her concern before she
Right.
She wanted to see if it could be, because she kind of felt that this is what was
causing part of the problem. It could have been, and if they think that it's enough of a risk of causing more clots downstream, then we may have to remove it and, put a new catheter somewhere else. But right now, all we're doing initially, at least, is seeing if there's a lot of clot in there that can be cleared and seeing exactly how much of a risk this catheter is. Because if it doesn't have to be moved, then that saves her, another procedure down the road.